and welcome to Indo World Cup Daily. Well, Louise Quinn remains an injury concern for Ireland on the eve of their World Cup group game against Canada in Perth tomorrow. Dave Kelly is our man in Perth. Dave, the official FAI preview for the game has it that Louise Quinn will start, that she will be available for selection. But Vera Pauw didn't seem as certain in today's press conference. What was your impression? You were there.
Yeah, well, I mean, the press conference evidence was fairly cursory in terms that she was a bit doubtful about it and did say that she'd have to give her the training session, which obviously prompted us to remove ourselves to the training session in the nearby Dorian Stadium, about 20 minutes away. And I posted footage, as you can see, on independent.ie of Louise she's wearing boots tonight. So that's a step up from wearing runners last night when I was in the air. As you might remember, she did her training section in runners last night away from the boot. But she was in boots tonight. She did a little dance when she came onto the field. Did the resistance band training as they do, training to beat the band. We didn't actually see her kicking the ball. I saw her messing around with the ball in a very kind of playful way, but not in a demonstrative, fully contact kind of way. My good feeling would be that, given her position, a central defender who, as we saw from today's story in the Independent, she's not the quickest according to her manager, so there's not much running involved. There's mostly heading of the ball, but that involves landing. And the injury was acquired from landing, ironically, which was thrown up front in a desperate lurch for a goal. The Bush rumours I'm getting is that Louise will probably be okay. It's a must-win game. There's no point in resting her for Nigeria because Nigeria may not matter. The most concern for me would be something that I only spotted late on. I was even training binoculars on Louise just to see facial expressions, how she's reacting to Payne. And regular viewers of this podcast will know that I like to look at people with binoculars to see facial expressions and a certain character. Louise seemed okay in terms of that point of view. But then I missed the fact that Heather Payne had a strapping on her right thigh. A double shopping. I'm not very good on shopping, so I was never an athlete myself. But it was pretty elaborate strapping, and she was in a big, decent chat with Angela Flannery, the physio, at one stage after a few of the resistance band kind of routines and a couple of the jumps. She was held back for a while, and then as the football segment of the training started, she did not get immediately involved, and that would be a worry for me because, like as I said, Louise Quinn's in position. She's not involved with running. Heather Payne does. She had the highest high intensity running figures of any other player the other night. I think the highest speed and distance covered, although possibly Denise Sullivan once again was ahead of her. They have their own little personal battle, but Heather Payne runs a lot. It's a short story in that one. And that would be the one that actually would cause most anxiety if we're to believe our eyes, which, if we don't believe words, we try and believe our eyes. That's the one that would actually give me a little bit of concern.
Yeah, and that wasn't mentioned in the press conference, Dave. That wasn't mentioned by Vera or anything.
Well, no, it wasn't. And I mean, we've asked about other injuries all week, and there's been no other. We would expect them to volunteer injuries, of course, but that was the first time that was highlighted. Now it could be again. I have the privilege of speaking to a distinguished athlete. That it could be just a precaution in terms of the amount of running that she does. That she just puts a strapping on for tightness and just to keep a limb warm. But you know, the fact that she is in a position where there is so much running being done. Yeah, compared to Louise Quinn, I think that could be a potential issue.
Yeah, you mentioned there some of Heather Payne's stats. I mean, Louise Quinn, was just immense against Australia. Some people there beside you, Dave, have they quietened down? But Louise Quinn stats from FIFA, I mean, topped the most possession contest, one of the Ireland players with 6, had the most aerial duels with 6. If she doesn't make it, if her worst case scenario here, Dave, Diane Caldwell, is she the one who'll come in a reshuffle team?
Well, that would be the obvious one, and then Diane obviously would favour left side, so you're moving around. As Megan goes central, and then Megan doesn't have the forceful physical presence that Louise has. So do you push Neve in there as a forceful physical presence, and then you're pushing Megan out to the right. So yeah, it does become very complicated, and in terms of Heather, do you just make one change, or do you make several changes? I mean, Vera likes physicality and athleticism. If there's no physicality, so Marissa Sheehan could be an option there in terms of just legs. She has legs to get around, but then you're maybe thinking that, well, if you're taking Marissa out of her position, was Avi Larkin going in their position, and then if Avi Larkin is in her position, as I said yesterday, she doesn't come on after an hour. You know Avi Larkin, you do it Amber Barrett. So you're making maybe 2 changes or 3 changes for one absentee, and I don't think Vera Barry will do that. So I think Louise Quinn will be okay. I mean, Heather Payne kind of is the doubt at the moment. She could, again, as we said against Australia, when there were doubts as well with Denise, she will probably lean towards conservatism. So there's a possibility that just you bring out Claire originally, you just kind of store up as best you can. Again, the worry there, you'll have Sinead Farrelly having to drop back and be a bit more reluctant and reticent in terms of going forward as she was against Australia. So it just becomes another back to the wall drop, which in fairness it was looking like anyway, even before these kind of late scares. But yeah, there are plan Bs because they're kind of picked the squad with 2 players in every position. But it's a concern because despite her early struggles in the first half, Heather Payne reacted quite well and actually got involved in attacks late on in the second half. But she's just a bundle of energy and runs all day, and that's the kind of player that Vera Perry likes. So
yeah,
to lose her would be a significant blow. The evidence of my eyes is all I have at the moment. I think Louise Quinn will start, and Heather Payne. I would not put a huge amount of money on it, but again, because I'm not expert in the sphere of medical science, it could literally just be a precautionary dropping just to kind of protect her limbs from all the extraordinary effort she puts in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And hopefully it is a precautionary measure. As we know, Ireland need at least a draw in this game, Dave, if they're to have any chance to progress into the last 16. You were at both the Ireland and Canada press conferences today. Vera Pauw, how did she come across today to you?
I want to be wise after the event, but I thought she was kind of more terse than usual, more a bit more clinical in terms of her choice of words and less expressive than normal. I didn't get a great portrayal of them. And it's not necessarily pessimism or a lack of confidence, but I didn't get the same sense against ahead of Australia of confidence and of a sense that yet this team can really improve themselves. That's all I can. That's just my sense of it, my instinct. And I know that your next question is, but I kind of worry how that might portray itself into the field as well, because I don't know if Canada will play as poorly again. It looks like they're going to drop Chrissy Sinclair, and Jessie Fleming is back, and I think it's going to be a zippy pitch tomorrow because it's been raining here, and yeah, hopefully we'll let the Irish supporters out there, but I don't know. I'm just getting a few bad portents about tomorrow night in terms of in terms of Ireland.
Okay, right. We'll finish with the final prediction. Tell it as it is, Dave. We're going to get to we'll finish prediction because you need to go off to that function you're going to there. But listen, you were also at the Canada press conference, and Bev Priestman, and she says Ireland are, quite a horrible team to play against. It's kind of just like that old Millwall saying, everyone hates us, we don't care.
Yeah, I mean, it reminded me of being, we can't see it, the Subiaco is being rebuilt. There's about 4 stadiums we can see here in Perth at the moment with lights on, but back in 06 when Ireland lost to Australia and Ireland went out on the beer, and all Australia knew was Brian Driscoll and that the Irish were a fighting nation, and that sent a patronisation. And I mean, first, Bev Priestman, who's 37 years old from Durham, probably from her to be condescending, but there was a lot of talk about aggression and the usual stuff, and Katie McCabe was mentioned, even though she only committed 1 foul the other night, officially. Although I think her intent to foul was worth about 5 or 6 more. So there was a sense that Canada know they need to fight fire with fire tomorrow evening. But Canada, they're not an unphysical team themselves. They can mix it up if they want to. And listen, as I said yesterday, Ireland injury scares notwithstanding, they could possibly start the same team again. They will start the same system, and they will probably start with the same approach. Let's try and get a 0-all, and if anything else happens, it's a bonus. But they're not going to start attacking from the off. Well, my good feeling would say it's going to be another brave defeat. Obviously, all Irish supporters think differently, but we always do. Ireland were punching above their weight in this World Cup, and they are. And they are belonging here, but they're just not belonging at that highest level yet. And they can't afford to have lapses, whether it's injury concerns or missed chances if they have the other night. But you'll see, it could be a famous evening, but sadly, I think it could be a disappointing evening.
Yeah. So what kind of defeat do you think will happen tomorrow night, Dave? What would be your prediction?
Kind of doesn't matter really now, tonight, doesn't it? It doesn't matter really. I mean, if it's 1-0 or 2-0, going for glory at 1-0 down, going to 2-0.
Basically, and you don't think Ireland will even score a goal?
As usual with an Ireland team, they alluded to Gothenburg before, they need to score first. If they do not score first, they have not shown that they can respond, especially against a team at a superior level, which Canada are. And Canada take the lead against Ireland, they are good enough to deny that situation. Ireland have to take the lead, and then they're alive. If Ireland take the lead, they will not lose. So I can give you that guarantee, but I can't give you a guarantee that Ireland will take the lead. So, we can pin you up against this window, which is 18 floors high, and that's all I can do for you. That's all I can do for you. I mean, Ireland can score some set pieces. They can get up the pitch. We saw that against Australia. The problem, as I said earlier, yesterday and the day before, they need to show that intent earlier on in the game. I don't think Canada are superior attacking force to Australia. They may be slightly more creative, but they don't have that power and pace. So I don't think that was to be afraid of. So I think Ireland can get up the pitch, as I said yesterday, 5, 10, just imperceptibly 5 or 10 meters, and they can get into position to play. And by playing, I mean 1, 2, 3 pass into final third, get a free kick, get a corner, get a throw in. That's it's not. We're not talking the beautiful game here. We're talking the effective game. We're talking the World Cup game, getting a World Cup goal. So of course it can happen. Of course it can happen. I do not think it will happen, but of course it can happen, and they show that it can happen. If they have that intent and that attacking and that belief early on, and they're talking about guts, having the guts to fail and to get forward and to have no fear. But I haven't seen enough of that. I haven't seen enough of that early enough. If they show that, possibly there's a chance. Because after tomorrow, there's no tomorrow. But tomorrow is their today, and they have to do it. Leave nothing behind. Don't try wondering.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is all on the line tomorrow, Dave. As you said, we're going to check in with you after tomorrow's game when the picture of Ireland's World Cup will certainly seem a lot clearer. Dave, thanks for that.